All right, everybody, and welcome back. We have another Commander DeckTech for y'all. This is a real budget one. Not like hyper budget, like 10 to 20 bucks, but still really cheap. Specifically because you can probably find a lot of the deck or all the deck in your bulk bin because there's no rares, no mythics. It's all commons and uncommons. Probably around one of my favorite commanders or legends that have come out recently. I love Arabella, Abandoned Doll. Red and a white for a 1/3 legendary artifact creature toy. Whenever Arabella, Abandoned Doll, attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent, and you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures you control with power 2 or less. Arabella is a very versatile commander. You can take this deck in a whole bunch of different directions. Because she is so very powerful, I wanted to do something like I do with a lot of powerful commanders. I try to budget it down so that it can be a very accessible deck to get into the game. Okay, so to protect our commander, we have Whisper Silk Cloak. 3 colorless equipment, equipped creature cannot be blocked, and has Shroud, equipped for 2. So Shroud is a bit more strict than Hexproof, as the reminder text on screen will show you. So Shroud is a bit more strict than Hexproof. Hexproof came later. Shroud means it cannot be targeted by anything. So you cannot touch your creatures that have Shroud either. That's a very important thing to remember. But if this is on, we're not really able to protect Arabella a different way. So that's what we got to do. And it's equipped with 2. We also have Dawn Charm in here, colorless and a white for an instant to prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. We can regenerate a creature or counter target spell that targets us specifically. These charms, all very good in Commander, all worth picking up and putting in your decks to have some of that flexibility. We have Make a Stand in here, 2 colorless and white for instant speed. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain indestructible into the turn. Arabella wants us to attack. This lets us have a really big, devastating attack, a huge hit from Arabella's cannon, doing lots of stuff that turn. We also have Norrin Swift Survivalist, the updated Norrin from Duskmourn, a red mana for a 2/1 that cannot block for a human coward. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may exile it. You may play that card from exile this turn. So this is a way to help, since we got to attack, we want to swing with Arabella 2, so that's another creature with power 1. But we can make sure things are unblockable, so we don't have to worry about losing her or any of other creatures that we want to swing in with. Now to draw some cards, we have Clockwork Percussionist, 1 red for a 1/1 haste monkey toy. When Clockwork Percussionist dies, you exile the top card of your library, and you may play it until the end of your next turn. Very nice impulse draw from the Clockwork. We also have Friendly Teddy, 2 colorless for a 2/2. When Teddy dies, everyone draws a card. We have a Reverent Gremlin, colorless and red for a 2/2 with Menace. Whenever another creature you control with power 2 or less enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. This helps us loot, keep going in our deck. We also have Split Skin Doll, which is colorless and white for a 2/1. When Split Skin Doll enters, you draw a card. Then discard a card unless you control another creature with power 2 or less. Highly likely in our deck. Now we also have Sabira Tulzidi Caravaner, 2 colorless and red for a human shaman 2/3 with haste. You can pay 1 colorless, and another creature with power 2 or less we control can't be blocked, which is excellent. Colorless red and tap. Discard your hand until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Excellent refill for our deck. We're also running Living Phone, 2 colorless and a white for a 2/1. When Living Phone dies, you look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card with power 2 or less from among them. Put that in your hand. The rest go on the bottom in a random order. Now we have a little bit of ramp to get into our deck. We don't have to do a whole lot of it, so most of our ramp, actually all of our ramp, fits also on the theme of being a creature that will trigger Arabella. So we have Goldmere, which is 2 colors and a 1/1 that taps for white. We have Ironmere, which is 2 colorless for a 1/1 that taps for red. We also have Joyrose Familiar, which is 4 colorless for a 2/2 with flying. And historic spells we cast cost 1 less. We have a lot of artifact creatures and things that we cast. And we also have the Voyager Quick Welder, which is 2 colorless and a white for a 2/4, with also artifact spells, or just artifact spells, not all historics, but artifact spells we cast also cost 1 less to cast. Very helpful. In addition to Arabella's built-in cannon, we have lots of burn in our deck that are focused on our low-power creatures. We have Cavalcade of Calamity, which is colorless and red enchantment. Whenever a creature we control attacks with power 1 or less, it deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker that creature is attacking. And we have the classic Impact Tremors, colorless and red enchantment. Whenever a creature you control enters, this deals 1 damage to each opponent. Very good clock. Lots of good burn damage for Commander. Molten Gatekeeper, 2 colorless and a red for a 2/3. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under control, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Has Unearth, a built-in way to get it back. Very good for us. We also have Impractical Joke, which is 1 red for a sorcery. This is part of our removal package. Damage cannot be prevented this turn, and it deals 3 damage up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. So this can be used as a purely removal spell to get rid of something, but we also want to maybe point at something to get rid of it in the same turn. We want to do a big attack that cannot be prevented with our Arabella and her cannon. We're also running Raid Bombardment, which is 2 colorless and a red for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less attacks, Raid Bombardment deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker that creature is attacking. Another excellent ping to stack upon our other pings and the other damage we're doing. We also have Witty Roastmaster, which is 2 colorless and a red for a 3/2. He unfortunately does not fit our scheme, but whenever another creature enters the battlefield under our control, he deals 1 damage to each opponent. So it's another Impact Tremors. It's worth keeping in there. Speaking of more Impact Tremors, we also have Raphael Tough Turtle, colorless and red for a 1/3, who also triggers Arabella, or counts for Arabella. Whenever another creature you control enters, Raphael deals 1 damage to target opponent. So it's not as good as Impact Tremors, but having another Impact Tremors effect in there, very handy. Part of our overall removal package that's not related to burn, we have Bovine Intervention. Colorless and white for instant speed, destroy target artifact or creature. Its controller creates a 2/2 white ox creature token. Now that could be... there's many things that, like, where commanders will do group slug or something, where they'll give us things that we don't necessarily want, that'll help us get rid of things, and we get a benefit from it. We might pop one of our creatures that have been enchanted or something. There's many ways that we could use this and take advantage of the 2/2 hawks, or we can absolutely just point at one of our opponent's creatures and make it worse. We also have Gleeful Demolition, 1 red sorcery, destroy target artifact. If you control that artifact, create 3 1/1 red Phyrexian Goblin creature tokens. Very handy for us. Kabira Takedown, colorless and white, instant. It deals damage equal to the number of creatures we control to target creature or planeswalker. We also have Slaughter the Strong, colorless double white sorcery. Each player chooses any number of creatures they control with total power 4 or less, then sacrifices all other creatures they control. Excellent little board wipe for us. We're also running Thraben Charm, colorless and a white for an instant. It deals damage equal to twice the number of creatures you control to target creature. You can destroy an enchantment, or it can exile any number of target players' graveyards. All great modes to have in a commander deck that's running tokens. Alright, speaking of tokens, let's talk about some of the ways to make those bad boys. We got Beetleback Chief, double colorless, double red for a 2/2. When he enters, you get 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. We have Clarion Spirit, colorless and a white for a 2/2. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you get a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying, which is excellent because all of our spells are super cheap. Plus, we have a couple mana reducers that do exist, so this will help us double spell more frequently and get our Clarion Spirit to be giving us more tokens. Now, we also have Dalkovan Pack Beasts, which is an excellent include in here. It's 2 colorless and a white for a 0/4 Vigilance Mobilize 3, which is whenever this thing attacks, you get 3 tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature tokens that get sacked at the next end step, which is all well and good. We don't need them forever. But, importantly, with our power-based board wipe that we picked earlier, this is a fat knot right on where its power is. So you can always keep this and the pump it gives Arabella for that board wipe. Another really key point for Arabella with this deck is when she swings and everything goes and Dolkovan Pack Beast is on the board, her trigger will go on the stack. This thing's trigger will go on the stack. You can choose to mobilize first. Then Arabella will see all of the 1/1s that this thing just spat out. So this thing is actually a +4 total to our Arabella when we're swinging, not just the 1. Very good. It's not an impossible world where we play Empty the Warrens, which is 3 colorless and a red for a sorcery that creates 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, where we can at least make this like 3 copies. Like we can double spell and then Empty the Warrens and create 6 1/1 goblins. We also have Muster the Departed, 2 colorless and a white enchantment. When it enters, we get a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Excellent. And it has Morbid. At the beginning of our end step, if a creature died this turn, we get to populate, which is we get to create a token that's a copy of a creature token we control. We also have Razorkin Horde Caller, 4 colors and a red for a 4/4 with haste. Solid body. It does not fit our theme, but it's a good hitter. It's a nice beater to throw in our deck of weenies. Plus, whenever we attack, it does not have to be with him, though as one of the largest, or I believe the single largest creature in our deck, probably going to be thrown in. But if you don't want to lose that ability, because we can't make him unblockable this turn without using Whisper Silk Cloak, it's just whenever you attack with anything you get a free 1/1 red gremlin creature token. Just boom. We got Recruitment Drive, which is 2 colorless and a white for a sorcery. You get to roll yourself a d20. 1 to 9, you get 2 1/1s. Not awful for 3 mana, but not the best. But the more average part of the die, which would be the 10 to 19, create 2, because I don't normally see below. I don't know, luck isn't real, but I don't know. I normally see over 10 when I'm rolling dice. So create 2/2/2 white knight creature tokens. It's usually very good. It still gives us, no matter what, like the 2/2/2s are better, but either way, it's 2 tokens that count towards Arabella. But if we crit and get a 20, we get 3 2/2 white knight creature tokens, which is very nice. 3 2/2s for 3 mana, very sick. We also have Sky Knight Vanguard, which is a red-white 1/2 flyer. Already great on its own for this deck. But whenever it attacks, we get a 1/1 white soldier creature token, tapped and attacking. Very cool. Now, Siege Gang Commander is a rare, but Spawn Gang Commander from Modern Horizons isn't. It's 3 colorless, double red for a 2/2. It's devoid, but when you cast the spell, you get 3 0/1 colorless Eldrazi creature tokens with sack, add colorless. You can pay 1 colorless and 1. You can pay 1 generic and 1 colorless. Sacrifice an Eldrazi Spawn Gang. Sacrifice an Eldrazi, and then Spawn Gang Commander deals 2 damage to any target. That last ability is not super useful as it would be if we had Siege Gang Commander in here. However, a really important note for our big board wipe is this drops 3 0 power bodies that will just be things we can just keep for free from that board wipe, which is great. We also have Worms Crossing Patrol, which is 1 white for a 1/1, but it has Myriad. Just a 1 mana 1/1 with Myriad. That's all we could ask for. What a great card for this deck. What awesome. And last of our little token generators, we got Zergo's Vanguard, or last one was I'm going to show you anyway. We got 2 colorless and a red for a star 3. Little mobilize 1 trigger. Excellent. And this easily has the potential to be the hardest hitting creature in the deck. But that big clown berserker is scary all on its own. This creature's power is equal to the number of creatures you control. So this could knock somebody out or at least trade something you don't want on the board anymore. Very important. We have a couple ways of doing that actually, which we'll get into in our pump section. We have Angelic Exaltation, 3 colorless and a white enchantment. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. Now, normally we're going all in, which is what we want to be doing. We're aggressive, we're smashing face. However, sometimes players go tall, and it's really helpful if we have a tool in our deck that can help us go tall too, if we need to. Thus, Angelic Exaltation. And additionally, we also have Frontline Rush, which is a red-white instant speed spell that can also generate us 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, if we so choose, or we can also give target creature +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures we control, just knocking somebody out potentially. It could be the finishing blow. Very excellent addition to this deck to help close games or maybe trade with a huge creature you can't really deal with. And that's Arabella Abandoned Doll. There are so many ways you could upgrade this deck just by looking at bulk rares, frankly. Because I just didn't put it in here. It was just the gimmick of the deck restriction was, I'm going to be real. Initially, when I first built this deck forever ago, I didn't know Pauper was just commons in the 99. I thought it was, you just couldn't have rares or mythics. But I really like the deck building restriction of just cutting rares and mythics and playing with common, uncommons, trying to do, what do you call it? My brain. There's a whole bit of space there that just happened that I'm going to cut out, but I cannot remember where my train of thought went. It is gone. So I'm just going to keep going and roll through it like it never happened. And you will hear just a little bit of a cut that is just my life with unmedicated ADHD. But she's an incredible commander. There are so many ways to upgrade this deck just by looking at bulk rares in your bin that you might have. A glaring weakness for this deck is recursion. We have none, because most of the great recursion that is super efficient and get a bunch of stuff back in these colors that can do the things we want to do are rares. So that honks. But if we're bringing this pile in to a casual pod, to maybe another pod that has no rares or mythics, like, you're probably in pretty decent company. But still, it's an important note. An easy upgrade to this deck is anything that'll give it some resiliency through a board wipe or whatever. But that's Arabella Abandoned Doll. I hope you have fun. It's an incredible commander. Probably one of my favorite ones to build around. There are just a lot of commanders point you in one direction, and she does, but there are so many different things you could do with it. And it's just great fun. But that'll be it, everybody. If you could appease the algorithm by doing the like, comment, subscribe thing, that'd be awesome. And be excellent to one another, and have a good one.